Hi and welcome back to ChilliChump's Beginner's Guide to Growing Peppers from Seed to Source. In today's episode we're going to talk about insects and more specifically getting rid of insects. They can do a lot of damage to your plants and it can really ruin your season. So things like aphids, greenfly, slugs, they're not very good for your plants and we need to find a way to get rid of them. But we also got to remember that chili peppers are going to be eaten. So you don't want to put things in your plants that are going to cause it to be poisonous or anything like that. So we have to be a little bit careful. So first, let's talk about slugs. Typically, this is during the beginning of your season. If you have your plants outside, then you're going to have a problem potentially with slugs or snails. And they can do a lot of damage very quickly. They will eat through your stems and your leaves. And it can do a lot of damage early on and even kill your plant. So the only way that I've found to really help with the slugs is these sort of things, Slug Killa. Now what that is this little blue pellets. You might have seen it in some of my update videos. I use it in the vegetable patch and I use it obviously in the greenhouse. Luckily, slugs and snails are typically a problem only early on in the season. So this is perfectly fine for that time. I would suggest that you stop using it as much towards the back end of the season, especially when you're starting to get flowers and fruit. But by that time, you shouldn't have a problem with the slugs anymore. Well, hopefully you don't. Then the other type of bugs, possibly the worst is aphids. I have them every year without fail. All you can really do is to reduce the impact that they have. You can't really get rid of them completely 100%. But they can multiply so quickly. And there are a couple things you can do. Things like this. I'm not a big fan of this. This is a bug killer that isn't really healthy for vegetables, things like that. And I try and avoid this as much as I can. So I use something that is safe in the garden, something that you can eat or drink yourself and it's not going to cause any damage. And that is neem oil. Neem oil is something that I always have in my greenhouse. And it's something that I use not only in the greenhouse, but I use it in my raised beds as well. It is fantastic. The core component of neem oil is azadirachtin. Now what this is, it's an element that it won't necessarily kill the aphids or the greenfly and that sort of thing. What it will do is it will affect their hormones and it will also stop them from feeding, as well as stop them from reproducing. So it really does some damage. So when you spray this, don't expect an instant change. It will take probably about a week or two to start seeing some real effect, a real impact. But I use this from the beginning of the season, so I do see the effect as I go through the season. It really does work, and the nice thing is it doesn't cost a lot of money and it's safe. I'm going to show you my recipe for my neem oil. It's not just using neem oil. What you do is you mix it with a couple other things. Because I use quite a lot of the stuff through the season, I have an 8-liter container. This will probably, when this is full, it'll get me through pretty much the whole season. And I also use fairy liquid. Now the reason using fairy liquid is this helps the mixture stick to the leaves, and also it is non-toxic. Of course it's non-toxic because this is what you use when you wash your dishes. So it's just 3 elements. It's fairy liquid or some sort of dishwashing liquid, some neem oil, and of course water. So let's mix it up. So I still have a little bit of neem oil inside this container, and that's no problem. I'm just going to mix it within, but it's less than a liter, so I won't really mess with the mixtures. And you don't have to be too specific with how you do this. This here can take 8 liters, so we need to consider the mix. Now, for 8 liters, I use 3 tablespoons of neem oil, and I use 1.5 tablespoons of dishwashing liquid. So it pretty much works out to about a teaspoon of neem oil and a half a teaspoon of dishwashing liquid per liter. Like I said, you don't have to be too accurate here. It's not rocket science really. Get the rough amounts in there and you shouldn't have a problem. And now we just need to pour the water in. This can be any water. From the tap is fine. And there we go, that's 8 liters in there. A little tip when you're doing this is to try and use warm water. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but oil mixes better with warm water. I'm going to give that a bit of a shake. Mix it all together. And that's it. We have our bug spray here, nice and natural, using neem oil. Honestly, it's an amazing substance. And a bottle like this is going to last years. I think this cost me around about £10. I'll put a link in the description below for where I got it from, but that'll last me about 10 years or so, easy. And that will get rid of all the insect pests in my plants. Let me take you over to my greenhouse and I'll show you how I apply it. The first thing we want to do is pump it up and build some pressure so we can use the sprayer. Let's go in the greenhouse and use this. So all that we need to do, you can spray it however you want. Preferably, you'll find that a lot of the bugs are underneath the leaves. So you want to spray up in an upward sort of fashion. So if you see that underneath the leaves, just get it in there. This is nice about this here. You've got this long stem, so you can actually get in there and really spray it around. It doesn't have to take a long time. Just get in there, get some spray in. And there we go. We've already done 4 plants here and we can continue and do the rest. So I get asked sometimes how often to do this, and it really is up to you. You can't really damage your plants, but I'd say maybe twice a week would be good. But it really is up to you. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you're having a great season, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.